Hey y'all, this is Dr. Nicole K-Mac, and I'm back to talk about what are some strategies that you can implement starting right now to combat seasonal affective disorder. Okay, so first up, if you saw part 2 of this video, I talked about how in the winter months, part of what happens is that we have less daylight hours. So it's getting darker earlier and it's taking longer for the sun to come up. So what does that mean for you? That you're not getting that sunlight exposure. So the first thing you want to think about is how can you increase that? You can think about it both naturally and with the light box. So naturally, this is something that I love working with clients virtually. I can see where you're living. Open the blinds, open the shades, let that natural sunlight come into your house. For some people, if you have an office or a workspace that you can create next to a window, do that because you want to get some natural exposure to sunlight. You want to be intentional about going outside throughout the day. So even though our time frame is shorter, maybe you can still at least prioritize, I need to go for a walk outside. And I recognize it's cold, but baby, I put that coat on and I still go outside and get that sunlight. Number 2, you can also think about a light box. So these sort of like mimic natural sunlight, and you can search them up. And essentially what you would do for some people, for example, when you wake up in the morning, you sit in front of a light. And that's just a way of increasing your exposure to light, whether it's natural or artificial. Next, you want to think about like these things that keep you going. So creating your exercise routine. What are you doing? You still have to move that body. You need to shift the energy. You need to release those endorphins. You need to take care of your physical health and your mental health. You cannot escape exercise. What can you do? What feels realistic for you? Is it going to a gym? Is it taking local classes in a community? Is it looking on YouTube for videos? Is it doing it with an app? There were times during COVID where my line sister and I would literally FaceTime each other while we worked out so that we didn't feel alone. So figure out your movement and do that. Other things you want to think about is connections with people. We are not meant to be isolated. So again, you can't escape the importance of community. If you're in a location where you may not have a community where you feel like personally connected to, are there things that you can do in groups with people to get some of that connection with other people? You can also think about sometimes that connection may be virtually. So if your family isn't local, if your friends aren't local, could you schedule like some dinner dates or catch in on FaceTime or video chat or whatever? Again, during COVID, my line sisters and I would have a weekly, I don't know what you would call it, like a weekly girl session every Wednesday. We will pull out our wine, we would talk, we would celebrate birthdays. Even if your people can't be there with you physically, are there ways that you can maintain those connections virtually? Other things, I'm just going to put some things out there. I often ask clients to think through, like when you're feeling your happiest, when you're feeling your best, what are you doing? Who are you around? And can we take aspects of that to incorporate into your routine right now? So some things you want to think about, like what are your hobbies? How can you incorporate that? What are your creative outlets? Do you like art? Do you like painting? Do you like going to museums? Do you like dance? Do you like music? You need that creative expression. You want to think about, I like music, so I'm always going to like say, create a playlist of things. Like it could be upbeat music, music that inspires you, music that motivates you, music that just gets your body moving. Because baby, you cannot be stagnant during these winter months. Is spirituality important to you? If it is, how are you connecting to that, especially during these winter months? Is it just going to a religious ceremony or church? Is it reading spiritual readings or text or scriptures? Is it listening to spiritual music or teachings of spiritual people? So figure that out, incorporate it. Other things you want to consider: journaling. How are you expressing your emotions? So I often think about, like, is that something you want to write? Could you do a video journal? Is it just saying it out loud for some people? But, you know, what are you doing? Other things you want to think through is like reading. And then the last piece of this that I'll just add really quickly is being mindful of what you take in. I'm giving you this message on social media, and also being mindful that for a lot of people, social media can be particularly triggering. Be mindful of the accounts you follow, the messages you hear, the news, the TV that you watch, because all of those things can impact your mood. It's not just happening around you. It's also happening to you, and your body, your mind is processing it. So being mindful of those things you take in. And lastly, for some people, you can do all of these things. You can have all of the preparation, and the depression is still there. And we want to think about when that depression starts impacting your functioning, your work, your responsibilities, your day-to-day, your hygiene, your daily living, and you're really noticing this impact of the depression on what you're able to do, how you're feeling, then you may want to consider options for treatment. That can include like therapy. So figuring out what type of provider you feel comfortable talking to. And then the other piece, for some people, antidepressant medication may be the thing to help you cope during these winter months. Remember, we are all human. Some people may try and throw their stigma on you or judge you for what you have to choose to do to best take care of yourself. Don't let them do that. For the people who do that, stop it. Our mental health is just as important as our physical health. And so in the same ways that we take care of our health, our dental appointments, our annual exams, sometimes we have to do what we have to do to take care of our mental health. It doesn't make you less of a person. It makes you human. All right, y'all. Again, this is just some tips. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, I strongly recommend that you find someone to talk about this more with. I am a licensed clinical psychologist, but I am not your psychologist. So ask questions in the comments, and y'all let me know what you think. If there are any tips that you found helpful for combating seasonal affective disorder, add it to the chat. Each one teach one. That's how we all get to grow. All right, y'all. Bye.